And we keep wander around Place de la Concorde, one of the major public squares in Paris, exactly where the Tuileries garden starts. It is a public garden created as a garden of the Tuileries Palace in 1564 and became a public park after the French Revolution. On this art, one of the bridges over Seine have been listed as National Historic Monument. And here I happen to witness some preparation for the National Day of France. Pont du Carrousel got that name by King Louis Philippe because it led near to the Arc de Triomphe du Carrousel in front of the Tuileries. After 7 decades of use, serious restoration have been required. Nevertheless, the bridge was too narrow for the 20th century traffic and shifted alarmingly. The first time I found the Louvre just by accident while wandering around, but then I had to go second time early in the morning just to escape the crowd. The Louvre Museum is the world's most visited museum and historic landmark in Paris. It is the home of some of the best-known works of art, as Mona Lisa, for example. The museum is housed in the Louvre Palace, originally built in the late 12th to 13th century under the Philip II, but the building has extended many times to form the present Louvre Palace. The pyramid and the underground lobby beneath it was created because of the deficiency with the Louvre's early layout, which could no longer handle the increasing number of visitors on an everyday basis. The large pyramid serves as the main entrance to the Louvre Museum. Completed in 1988, it has become a landmark of the city of Paris. The Place du Carrousel is a public square located at the open end of the courtyard of the Louvre Palace, a space occupied prior to 1883 by the Tuileries Palace. Lots of visitors around, some even long-term inhabiting the place. Sitting directly between the museum and the Tuileries garden, Place du Carrousel delineates the eastern end of the gardens just as the Place de la Concorde defines its western end. In all my wanders around Paris, I was trying to stick to the Claire's recommendations. So even when there was cemetery in the list, I didn't think twice. So let me take you to a cemetery walk. It turned out it's the largest cemetery in Paris and the most famous in the world. It was named after François de Lachaise, who was a spiritual leader of Louis XIV. In fact, it was built in his garden. I felt a bit awkward and somewhat guilty for disturbing the peace of the dead. It felt strange for a cemetery to be turned into a tourist attraction. Nevertheless, despite the big names, and more importantly because of them, the cemetery is a kind of gallery where you can wander for hours, enjoying museum-class masterpieces. Honoré de Balzac, Oscar Wilde, Pierre de Beaumarchais, Edith Piaf, Sarah Bernhardt. Those are just some of the famous names that found their last refuge in the cemetery. Spooky. From there, I have wandered freely, watching my GPS navigation with only one eye. Popped by a wine shop. Well, that was a serious temptation here. And some souvenir shops, of course, just out of curiosity. On the way to Montmartre now. The name of the Montmartre hill comes from Latin and means Mountain of Martyrs. The Sacred Heart of Jesus Basilica stands on the top with all its glory since 1874. It has one of the largest bells in the world, which weighs 19 tons, those from 80-meter high bell tower. It gives way to narrow streets which lead down to the center of Paris nightlife. It's about 130 meters high and it's famous for its beautiful architecture and for the fact that many famous artists worked here at the 19th and 20th centuries, such as Pablo Picasso, Vincent van Gogh, Edgar Degas, Claude Monet, and many others. And that is where the only surviving windmill is. at the entrance of the famous Moulin Rouge cabaret, which is best known as the birthplace of the modern form of the Concorde dance. Today, it is a tourist attraction offering predominantly music, dance, entertainment for visitors all over the world. Situated near the site of Paris medieval marketplace, Saint Eustache exemplifies a mixture of multiple architectural styles. Its structure is flamboyant Gothic, while its interior decoration and other details are Renaissance or classical. And now I'm in search of the oldest bakery in Paris, with the intention to buy at least one piece of sweet from there. It's the oldest bakery after all. And here it is. It was founded in 1730 and it's listed as a historical site. So how could I miss to try something from that mecca of the classic French pastry delicacies? After seeing the prices, I could literally hear my pocket screaming out of horror, so I had to miss that experience.
The second one was which
But maybe 1 hour.
Everything was prepared on site. Definitely worth it visit.
You can wait.
Ćemo se vratiti kad će imati ove ostale.
Pa hoće.
Na kako se nađe? Kaže, će se sad
Maybe 30 minutes for...
This I thought was the oldest house in Paris, but it turned out there is an older one dated back to 1397. Yet I still count my discovery as quite impressive.